everybody, and welcome to this week's roundtable. So, this show is basically about having conversations that don't matter, just to show people how to have conversations, because I believe that a great conversation is very important. I just want to show people how to have them with things that don't matter at the end of the day. Today, we have two amazing guys. The first guy, he's been on at least one or two times, depending on when we've posted episodes. He has kidnapped me a couple times and has hidden me in his basement. I want you to welcome Nolan.
You get out of there. I could have sworn I locked the door.
No, Elijah saved me again. And speaking of him, the next guy, he's been on the show a lot. When I mean to show on a lot, our normal podcast, and savior of Nolan's basement of people getting trapped in there. Welcome, Elijah.
Hola.
Spanish.
Le gasp.
Well, that is funny. I think you are the first Spanish speaker we've ever had, Elijah. And maybe it's just one word. But anyways. So, y'all know the rules. Basically, we're going to go take turns on doing open and closing statements with each question. Actually, before we start with the questions, who wants odds and who wants evens to pick?
Dibs on odds.
Okay, odds. Okay, he called it.
He called it.
It is evens.
Ooh.
Elisha. Do you want to start first or start next? So basically, you would start 3 times. You would start 1, 3, 5, and then do your ending statement or closing statement.
Since I'm an OG tabler, I think I will give it to Nolan.
Oh, being a gentleman.
Yeah, it's just
nice.
Oh, don't make me go first. I'm shy. No, it's okay.
I got you. Don't worry.
So the first question is, what character would you swap out with a different character in any story to make the story better? So that meaning, like, you can swap out any character you want from any story and replace him with a different character. You know, for example, let's just say that I want to swap out Superman with I don't know, Deadpool, just because I think it'd be funnier. So that's what these guys are doing. So Nolan, since you are going first, you can start whenever you're ready.
Okay. I gave it a little thought, and I think there's a lot of really solid options that could be really, really funny. But one that was cracking me up thinking about it would be Percy Jackson, but plopped into the Harry Potter universe. Percy Jackson, both like the character, but also just like the books, is like it's a lot more self-aware and a little more meta and very sarcastic, and I think in a slightly more serious setting like Harry Potter, I think that would be hilarious. Honestly, that's my main that's my statement.
Okay, Elijah, whenever you're ready.
Speaking of Deadpool, if I had to swap one character into another story to make it dramatically more entertaining, I would put Deadpool in Wuthering Heights. The reason this works so well is because Wuthering Heights depends entirely on emotional seriousness. Everybody's staring into the rain, refusing communication, and making their suffering everybody else's problems. Then Deadpool walks in and completely destroys the atmosphere. Instead of a tragic monologues on the moor, he's breaking the fourth wall, roasting Victorian social etiquette, and asking why nobody in the family has tried therapy. It doesn't just change the story; it turns one of the literature's most emotional, intense romances into absolute chaos.
Okay.
And that is my opening statement.
And remember, you're talking about why you think yours is better. So,
Okay. Okay. I just want to right off the bat say I don't know nearly enough about Wuthering Heights to really have much of. Elisha could say anything he wants about it, and I'd be like, yeah, that's probably correct.
It seems about right.
Minus Deadpool being in it. I'm sure he's not in there. I'd be shocked if he was. But about mine, I think what I would like to see specifically, Percy Jackson being, how do I describe this? He doesn't have magic, okay? He's got like these powers from his dad being Poseidon, but he doesn't have this like unlimited book of spells at his ability. And so I would love, it's like such a fan fiction thing. I would love to just get a series of Percy Jackson trying to counter all of these other people who have just a full list of like magic spells that can do anything, and all he has to do is like figure out how controlling water and everything water related can help him like defeat Voldemort. I think that would be hilarious, but I also think there's actually like some interesting like thought process that would have to go into it too. So that's why mine is better. You're wrong, Elisha.
And I personally, when I saw you support Percy Jackson in Harry Potter, I was like, that's actually pretty genius because the genres are somewhat similar. I think
Right.
that's also the flaw of it too, is because it is almost side by side, very similar to the point where if you put them in, it just like naturally fits. I could totally
Mm-hmm.
see like Percy going like, "You guys must be all the children of Hecate or Circe or something." How can you? Um, but I think if it is for entertainment purposes, Percy Jackson would be a really cool thing to see. But it seems like someone else's like fan fiction that you can find on WhatsApp or something.
Is
And
very
not
fan
WhatsApp. What's it?
fictiony.
Wattpad. Yeah, very fanfic esque idea, but just slapping Deadpool in Withering Heights and just completely owning everybody in the series. It's like, wait, you relate to who? Who goes? Wait, so you're saying you fell in love with your half sister and just completely just annihilate the entirety of every Victorian, like, I have must restrain my emotions, and he's like, I can just completely deadpan honest and then break the fourth wall, and it's like, who are you talking to? Um, it seems like something Marvel Comics would honestly do. It's like a series of Deadpool walking through literary classics and completely owning the world, and everybody just confused and try to run him out.
That does feel like a bit they would do in a Deadpool movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It seems like something he will also just randomly quote, and people are like, "How do you know that?"
But I will say you said like, well, okay, Percy Jackson, Harry Potter, they're both like young adult novels. Um, but how you said like it fits so much, I feel like Deadpool and Withering, like I feel like that's almost so different that it's not even like, you know.
It's so different. It works.
Well, I don't fully disagree, but like I'm not sure I can fully agree either, because if it's so different, at some point you just, I'd say halfway through whatever it is, that's as whatever medium you want it in, book, movie, show, it would just like the humor would kind of wear out a little bit, I feel like. Maybe a
Mm.
little bit, just where it's like you can almost predict the quips and the bits that are all coming. Whereas if you have like each story in Harry Potter is different, and so you get all these different segments. So like
Yeah.
in Sorcerer's Stone, when they have to go through all of those different um chambers to get to the Sorcerer's Stone, like I would love just bits like it's just Percy Jackson, but instead of all these like really smart ways of dealing with things, it's just
Yeah.
Not quite brute forcing, but like or like in Goblet of Fire, when it's the he finds himself in the second task with the lake, and he just instantly like swims down and becomes like best friends with the mer people living in the lake, and I don't know, things like
Yeah.
that. I feel like because each book is at least a little bit different, then you get a little more variety.
Right. I mean, Percy definitely does improve Harry Potter if he was in it, while Deadpool completely rewrites Wuthering Heights from the inside out.
Right.
But I honestly, it feels like if it was like in like a comic book format, it would be short enough where I don't think it would be, oh, this is taking so long. But
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool completely runs off of being like never let them know your next move. So he'll
Right.
100% at first cause chaos and bring it in, and then somehow makes the story improve in some way and still get the ending of here we go. Um, but since it's very gothic too, versus his typical shenanigans, he has
Right.
gone up against people who are that gothic esque and completely bringing something to the table of which their characters didn't have before. So even though he'll bring absolute chaos, he'll somehow manage to make the plot continue in
Mm-hmm.
whatever shape or form, or have them join together to just run them off. And
Yeah.
so I would feel like at least for that, when you say it's like, oh, it would become boring and guessable. I was like, well, Deadpool is not really guessable since his whole thing
Yeah.
is
Well, I guess that does kind of
yeah,
distinct being
this is
unguessable, unpredictable.
unhinged.
Mm-hmm. Very.
But I like the Percy and the Harry Potter one. I feel like I can honestly see that, and yeah, I can probably find an actual good writing of somewhere out there, some really dedicated fan of both series, come like putting it all together,
Yeah.
be an interesting like a an entertaining read, just to see what people do and how the characters will interact. It would just be like a good prompt to put through something and have it write it out just to see what it will
Well,
look
now,
like.
well, what I know now is if I ever get around to reading Wuthering Heights, because I probably will never watch that movie. I've heard terrible things about it. Whenever I get around to reading it now, because of you, I'm just going to be picturing Deadpool there. So,
So whenever it gets too dry and like dragged out, and just be like, "What would Deadpool do in this moment?"
exactly.
I feel like if Deadpool had to play someone, he can't be the narrator. I feel like he will fight the narrator the entire time. Um, I don't remember all the characters' names. I remember the plot, and I just thought it was so ridiculous.
I
But in
have a compromise option.
could be, like help, like not Cliff. Yeah, what's your compromise?
Heathcliff. My compromise would be Deadpool, but he replaces Ron Weasley in Harry Potter.
Oh.
What?
Hmm.
He can't replace Harry Potter because that's main character.
No, but
No,
he already no. But
listen.
here's the thing: he already picked what story he's replacing. He can't go back on that.
No, I'm not saying he should go back. I'm just saying we can. I will call it a draw. Call it a compromise if we say
Yeah,
Deadpool.
we'll do Ellen Dean. That's the housekeeper. I feel like Deadpool is the housekeeper, which is because it's in her point of view sometimes through her eyes. So it'd be funny just to see it being Deadpool instead. So we can do that. Unless someone put in the comics, if you're a fan of Wuthering Heights, who do you think Deadpool should swap out with? But honestly, having swapping out with Ron, I wouldn't say Ron Nolan. I said we should swap him out with Hermione Granger.
My
It seems more like something Deadpool will replace. And just like,
so it's just Deadpool, but he's wearing like a Hogwarts uniform, and there's a big bushy brown wig on his head.
yes, just
Yeah,
it's the he just pretending to be smart. It's
I think that would be hilarious.
and it's like I got this. Says some spell, and he just shoots someone in the face.
Hmm. Something along those lines.
Something, because the wizards, they don't know what guns are.
He keeps trying to tell all the characters how the story ends, but they think it's just Hermione being a know-it-all, and
Yeah.
they keep ignoring Deadpool / Hermione.
He has that time thing, the time watch, so he'd just be like, guys, I know the future. He just goes into the future, just shoots like Voldemort in the face, and it's like, I dig it! I'm the chosen one.
Except that wouldn't work.
True. He'll shoot Harry in the face first, and then he'll shoot Voldemort in the face. And it's like, guys, come back.
That scared me. I was not expecting that.
Jump scare.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I believe, Elijah, you give the first closing statement on why you think yours is the better fit.
Oh, I get the first. I thought it'd be Nolan since he started. But okay, I got this. So the reason Deadpool in Wuthering Heights works is because he is the exact opposite of everything that the story takes seriously. Some swaps fit smoothly into a world. This one clashes through the front door with chimichangas and emotional commentary. And honestly, watching Deadpool survive one Victorian argument would be more entertaining than in the original novel. And that's my closing statement.
Okay, and now yours, Nolan?
Harry Potter and Percy Jackson are both young adult novels. Both of them are quite popular. And I think it would be hilarious to see all the sorts of hijinks that Percy would end up getting into at Hogwarts, being a demigod and not a wizard. And I also think it'd be fascinating to see what effect that has on the story as a whole.
Nice. Okay, now the next question. So what magic power would you want in everyday life? And Elijah, you get to go first.
Right on. If I could choose one magical power for real life, I'd pick telekinesis easily. There's a lot of powers that sound cool in theory, but telekinesis is one that you can consistently use every day without causing new problems for yourself. You can clean your house, cook dinner, carry groceries, multitask, grab things from across the room, and do it all in subtlety. Compared to other powers like flight or mind reading, flight sounds amazing until you deal with weather bugs and attract global attention. Mind reading will probably destroy your mental health in a week. So telekinesis is that perfect balance between usefulness, convenience, and practicality. And that is my opening statement.
Nolan, whenever you're ready.
Okay, well, not as eloquently. I decided on a summoning spell, and I'm not really picky on if you want to go with like Harry Potter, Accio, or I mean, I guess it'd be really similar to. I think it would be extremely practical. There's something in like the other room. You can just summon it instantly. Beyond just convenient, though, it could also just be super helpful. Someone, let's say they are in an emergency. Maybe they like have a really bad I don't know, puncture wound, they're bleeding. You can summon bandages and whatnot to help them. I think it'd be helpful, but I think it would also be super convenient. And the only downside really is it would make me super lazy as a human being.
Okay, and I will say with the summoning spell, you got to pick just one thing
with
the summoning spell.
Like I can only summon one thing, or like just...
You can say one thing or one creature.
Okay, well, I was just thinking of in terms of like Harry Potter, the Accio spell, where you just say Accio, you wave your wand, and then you insert whatever item you need. And
Okay. So that's like an actual real thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, that's fair. Okay, I was thinking of something totally different. But if that's like an actual like real power thing,
go. Yeah, it is. It's far and away. I could go on a whole thing on my own about how Harry Potter, the characters are kind of dumb because they do not use the spell nearly as much as.
Yeah, I was wondering where you were taking this.
Okay, so I guess why one is better than the other.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Accio is just overall just extremely practical. Like I said, really the only downside I think is just it would make people like it would make me a whole lot lazier. Uh,
Yeah.
but other than that, it's helpful for just day to day, like, you know, frustrating things. You know, I don't want to go to the other room to. I left my water bottle in the other room. Accio water bottle. Boom, there it is. But also important stuff too. Like, oh my gosh, my car has a flat tire, but the jack isn't in the trunk. Accio car jack. Boom, there it is.
Hmm. Hold on. I'm curious because does Accio have limitations of what you can
I don't believe it works on human. They don't really talk about it honestly in the books, but I feel like there's kind of an unstated like immobile objects. You can't say like Accio house and a whole house
yeah,
pops
it's
up.
just inanimate objects only. So it
Yeah,
only works with
so like
inanimate
not people
objects.
either.
Clear visualization. The caster must visualize the exact object in their mind, and
Right,
any distraction or lack of focus will render the spell ineffective. Physical path needed. Items must have a clear path to the caster. They cannot simply teleport or magically phase through solid walls to get it
right. Well,
to
it's always
you.
about how they fly. Like the item flies through the air towards the person,
Yeah. And
and
the object does not arrive instantaneously. So there are
right.
some
There's a wait
limitations.
time. There is some, absolutely, but I don't think it's anything that would like make me rethink wanting that as a magic
Yeah.
ability.
I was just curious because like telekinesis seems very similar in this. It's not like I can think of an object and it will come to me, but it's similar in the sense of in the way
Right.
of I would probably become lazy because I can if like you said give the water bowl example, I could walk across my little apartment and go, oh, forgot my keys, and like come fly into my hands right before I leave the
Exactly.
door instead of have to walking back in.
Yeah.
Um, I would think with telekinesis, I would be able to like pick up heavy objects. You know, like the summoning spell is just to grab an object, but with telekinesis, I feel like it takes a step further because not only
Mhm.
can I just bring stuff to me, I could probably also lift up something heavy.
No, yeah, you're really not wrong. Like I'm not. I do think like as far as the practicality of both, you could use both just almost the exact same.
Yeah, I think they're very similar.
So I'd imagine, depending on like what kind of telekinesis you're thinking, like do you have to be able to see the item to use telekinesis on it?
Mm, I was thinking like generic telekinesis, so I didn't think too much thought into it. Since usually when I think of like superpowers, telekinesis is not one of those things that pop up in my head.
Right.
But it depending on like that's another thing too. Telekinesis is such a vague thing because people can use it for multiple things, like to start fires. There's that type of telekinesis. There's
Right.
also like Phoenix level of Jane telekinesis, it like cosmic telekinesis. I don't think it would be that to that extent, but just the probably you don't have to like see it to bring it to you.
Mhm.
I'm sure if I thought about my keys, I know what my keys look
Yeah.
like. I think it's again, I think it's very similar to the spell, um, in the sense of like, oh, I'm thinking of this object, let me move it. And this, I feel like it has the same limitations to it as well. It's not like
Yeah.
my objects can go through walls, or it's not like it's going to get to me immediately or any faster.
Right.
So yeah, if I knew that you meant like this spell specifically, I would have probably have thought something different because I was like, oh, because I
Well,
wasn't quite sure where you
you
were
know,
taking it.
not to not to roll over and die immediately, but I mean, I think when it like all the reasons I chose Accio apply to yours, but then yours also has other benefits as well. And
Yeah,
so like I'm not giving up. I still think my idea was good, but I think yours is a little more like all encapsulating. So
yeah.
you
I
got it.
I think it's good. It's just like put the prompt early. It's like some type of summoning spell. I was like, what does that mean? What type of
Yeah, no,
second spell?
I
But
was a
knew
little
specifically what. Yeah,
when
if I
I
knew.
mentioned it, it was a little vague at first, but yes, that
Yeah.
is what I meant.
But I would think with like telekinesis too. Uh, I think in some this may be different, but I know in some different like stories they use it as in the sense of like a shielding. Some people
Mhm.
use like force. It's almost like a force field. So I wonder if
Well, I
that is
mean, when
some.
you say telekinesis, the main thing I think of is like the practical uses of like the force, and it's used as
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm
summon
thinking
stuff,
mainly.
and it's used as a force field at times, and
Yeah, so if I'm walking down in the rain, I can just like put a little shield over me and I won't get wet. Or if I
want
wanted
to
to
feel those
really
raindrops on your face.
raindrops falling on my head. No,
Exactly.
I would like to, but sometimes if it's super heavy rain, it's the opposite. If it's light
Mm,
rain, that's not bad. If it's like super heavy and I need to get somewhere because I don't have a car, so I often have to ride my bike or I have to
mhm.
um walk places. So it's a lot easier to get somewhere dry. Plus, that's also really nice. I didn't think about that. I could use that on my bike ride. So if I ever get in like danger, I can just float myself
Yeah,
up or like
exactly.
stop a car before hitting me.
Yeah,
I've had a few close encounters sometimes, but it's nothing too crazy to the point I'm like, man, I wish I had telekinesis. It was like,
right.
wow, that was a little too close to comfort, I think. Um, but with telekinesis, I could save myself a lot of trouble. Or like if
Exactly.
it's like ET it, if I get somewhere where I can't cross easily, but like, I can just.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would think telekinesis is easy in that way as well. It'd be hard to,
Hmm.
at least for the spell. I think the spell would be handy, but I just think
Oh,
because
yeah.
of telekinesis, it's like a step further. It's like
It
more.
is.
It's like you got a pocket knife versus a Swiss Army knife. I would rather the
Right.
Swiss Army knife than the pocket knife, but the pocket knife is nice to have if I just
Yeah.
need just the
Hmm.
just the knife part.
It's a very good analogy.
That's all I have to say about my thing and about Nolan's thing.
Yeah, I really don't. I feel like we did a pretty good job of establishing the driving reason we both chose our things,
Yeah.
and it just ends up being pretty much the same.
Man, that's a long bell.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I think it
It's
lasts
like
for
it's
a
not
good small
ending.
bit. Yeah,
Is
but
it no? Is it Nolan's turn to give a closing statement?
I think it is. Uh, yeah, so I chose the Accio spell from Harry Potter because summoning things is not only convenient, but it can also be extremely helpful at times. But as we discussed, telekinesis does that as well, and a whole lot more. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and the best everyday power isn't always the flashiest one. It's just one that improves your life constantly. So
mhm.
telekinesis quietly solves your problems for every day without the chaos to come with the most other powers. And honestly, if I
Right.
had to never have to gig up to find the TV remote again, it already feels magical enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jarek, hit us with the next one. What's the next question?
Okay, so
Okay.
what story from mythology should get its own movie that hasn't gotten its own movie yet? And so these guys wanted both to do a mythology question, so here's your question. And I
Yeah.
believe that Nolan gets to go first with your
It
opening
is.
statement.
Please don't kill me for my pronunciation, but I have always wanted to. I think it would be great to see like a movie adaptation. The story of oh, hold on,
You got it, boo.
gosh, oh, Orpheus, and it's Eurydice, right? That's how you pronounce it.
I think so. It's been a while since
E
I've heard the
U
name.
R Y
I think
D
it's
I
just
C E.
oh, hold on, I got you. I used to memorize these Greek
Eurydice.
names.
Eurydice? Or
Yeah,
is
I
it
think so.
Eurydice? I don't think it's Eurydice.
Eurydice. I
Eurydice.
got Eurydice. No, it is You Eurydice? Eurydice?
Ridius.
Eurydice. Eurydice.
Okay. Anyways, I love it. It's a really great story. You know, the guy, he plays beautiful, beautiful music. His wife dies, and so he charms, I think depending on what you read, he either charms all the gods or he charms Hades specifically, who like allows him to go to the underworld to rescue his wife. Um and when he has her, the one rule is they cannot look back as they are leaving, and he looks back and he loses her. And it's very tragic, but it's also like a very beautiful story of a guy who like will stop at nothing to save his wife. And so I would love to see like a movie adaptation of that. I think it'd be very cool.
Okay. I'll let you go on a little bit long just because it was funny struggling with pronunciation.
And yeah, I'm not gonna try and say it again.
Okay. And so Elijah, now it's your turn whenever you're ready.
Hang on. The mythology story I think deserves its own movie is, and here we go, the pronunciations again. Zahak, the Serpent King from Persian mythology. This story already feels like a massive fantasy film waiting to happen. You have a demonic manipulation plot, a tyrant curse with flesh-eating serpents growing from his shoulders, innocent people sacrifice every day to feed them, and eventually a rebellion led by an ordinary blacksmith who lost his son to the king's cruelty. It was horror, political drama, dark fantasy, rebellion, and genuinely terrifying villain. It feels less of an old myth and more like a gladiator mixed with Lord of the Rings. And that is my opening statement.
Yeah, that'll work.
Pac-Man. Yeah!
Elisha, for my own gratification, can you kind of give me a quick rundown of that one? Because I'm not familiar.
Yes. So in this story, I'm going to call the king Johnny Snake Shoulders. Johnny Snake Shoulders was part of three brothers, and he becomes king. And this guy just absolutely thought he was the best thing since sliced cheese. And he's like, I am now a god. And everyone else is like, you shouldn't do that because in the religion of the ancient Persians, I'm blanking on the name, it's such as like a Z. If you do bad, you welcome evil spirits. If you do good, you kind of push them back because the world was constantly fighting between good and evil spirits. So if you kept being egotistic like that, it would have brought in misfortune. So it brought in this one demon, and he's like, hey, you should do this and I'll make you king. And he's like, oh, okay. So he does. And then he's like, hey, you should do this and we'll rule the kingdom. And he's like, I don't really want to do that specifically. So he comes back as a different person and feeds him some meat. And they're like vegans at the time. So it's like, oh, meat's pretty good. He's like, oh, cool. Can I kiss your shoulders? And he's like, yeah, man. And he does. And snakes grow off his shoulders. So he comes back, and the demon comes back as a different guy. It's like, hey, the only way for those serpents to really disappear if you keep feeding it human brains. And so he starts becoming a tyrant in his kingdom. And as in every story of how these tyrants roll, whenever a prophecy comes by, going basically, hey, this guy's chosen one, so come and kill you, he starts thing to go slaughter all the baby boys. The baby boy in question is brought to a magical cow to take care of him for a few years before it gets too dangerous and the mother takes him back to continue running away. The king then gets frustrated. This blacksmith, who had 17 sons and 16 of them were sacrificed.
Oh my God.
He gets upset and he's like, I'm going to hold a whole rebellion against you. He takes his blacksmith apron and makes it into a flag. And he goes to war with this king and he finds the chosen one and they come together and they destroy the king and bring peace and prosperity to the land. So it's already like set up to be a really great movie, but no one has ever heard of this, and like Hollywood has yet to touch it yet.
Hey, maybe
so
if the Odyssey for Christopher Nolan turns out well. We'll get this one next. This is shortly. He's already got it like storyboarded and everything.
Oh yeah,
He's got the script written.
he's got the script reading. We
All
just need a
practical
type.
too.
Yep.
He will surgically graft snakes to a man.
So we're gonna have to put these snakes on your shoulders. No CGI.
The movie
All
of a
real.
generation. That sounds fascinating.
I think
have to read this
Lucasfilm should pick it up. I think that'd be interesting. Just have snake puppets.
Ah, yes, this is the plot for the next Star Wars movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. I personally really love your story. Though in it he gets super sad, he depresses all the gods, and then they're like, hey, just go
Okay,
down to
yeah.
the underworld. That's what happens because they're like, hey,
I've
you're
read
bumming
it a
us out.
Yeah, I've read it a few different ways. Like
Yeah.
one where it's specifically Hades that he like charms, and others where
Well, that's what he does after the gods like, hey, go to the underworld. He then goes to Hades'
they
camp
get him there.
directly.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then he starts playing the song, and for once, like that's beautiful. Fine, just
Yeah.
pick your wife. Just whatever you do, don't look behind you. And he does.
Mhm. And he does.
He does. It's
But there are some also like really beautiful songs written about it. Hold on, let me pull up the title of one of my favorites. I highly recommend listening to it. Give me just 1 second.
Just tell me whenever you
It's
got
called
it.
Beat of Her Heart by Gungor.
Ooh.
It's a real good song.
You gotta send me that one. I haven't heard that one.
I will. Music is my thing. So that is my biggest thing that I'm a geek about. I love music. Anyways, I think it would be a really, really great movie. You could spin it a whole bunch of different ways. You could do it more dramatic. You could do it more tragic. Regardless, it's a great drama story. I think you also wouldn't necessarily have to do like straight up like Greek like version. You could reimagine it as something a little more modern.
How would you do that?
Well, off the top of my head, I'm really not sure. You could maybe have like it would have to be an adaptation. It couldn't be like a direct, like exact copy.
That's gonna be hard.
Makes a whole bunch of deals as a musician with a like gang or mafia or something, and he can't pay them back, so they take his wife, and he has to go and try and bargain for her back, and then he loses her.
Yeah.
That's off the top of my head. Wouldn't have to be like that, but I'm thinking like sort of how we have like "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," which is an incredible adaptation of the Odyssey. You could do something similar where it's just a different time period, different story, but same story beats. Or you could just do the story straight up like it is. I think that would be cool too. And so,
you can definitely adapt it, kind of like how C.S. Lewis did with Until We Have Faces. Yeah, something similar to that, which like, oh, this is obviously this myth. It's just being reimagined.
And I did look it up. There hasn't been a movie about it yet. There have been some Brazilian musicals about it, though.
Oh, right on.
I know.
I gotta go find the Brazilian musical.
Hey, I wanted to make sure. I didn't want to be like, oh, I wish there was a movie of this, and then there's actually a really well-known movie that I just haven't seen.
I'm pretty sure my pick is not a movie at all. I don't think anyone's ever heard of this story. I don't even think the Persians.
I think yes.
I think yes. I honestly would love to see your story be adapted. It was one of the very first Greek myths that I used to read about, and I used to fall in love with it all over and over. Honestly, if I read it right now, I'll fall in love with it over again. I personally, unless you have like super creative liberty with it, it's hard for me to imagine it to be like a full blown movie because of how in the original myth, it's just like this guy falls over this girl.
You would have to add some stuff.
Yeah, you would just you definitely have to add something.
I feel like it's just very rare nowadays, anyways, for a movie to not be adding extra stuff. That's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah. I think though with the Serpent King, honestly, you could almost keep it the exact same. It has all the tropes that we see in the modern movies anyway, but I feel like it would almost inspire people because of this like ordinary blacksmith going against this Serpent King and the Chosen One. it will speak to the modern audience. I think it's one of those stories because it's like the thing of taking old stories of like
Yeah.
how does this adapt to today? How can it speak to modern audiences today? I think that's where I forget who says this, but he says something along the lines like, "We are doomed to repeat history." I forget his. I don't forget on the top of my head. I'll have to think about it later if it pops up. But basically, it's some type of philosopher. He says something about like we can't basically quote from history because that happened in that period to that people and it wouldn't make sense for us to do now. And he was really talking about like philosophers quoting Aristotle as if it meant something to that time instead of it being meant for that period. So sometimes myths are like that in stories where it's like, oh, we would love to see this. And it's like, well, in the modern time, you have to really change it for it to make sense to the modern audience. I think with the Serpent King, it has all the modern tropes in it to bring audience with like, oh wow, like uh, interested. I guess is the word. Like they'll be more able to watch it, understand it, and keep with it the entire time, and be
Yeah.
like, wow, that's a great movie. And it would be similar, as I said, to like Gladiator with Lord of the Rings. It's that kind of like dark. Well, Lord of the Rings isn't a dark fantasy, but
Well, I mean, it's got its
yeah,
moments.
it does have its moments, and
It
I
definitely has
definitely
its moments, and I think the books are kind of a little more, slightly more leaned into the dark fantasy.
yeah, and it has different like with your thing, Nolan. It you have the different genres. Your thing
Right.
would definitely be some type of like tragic or
Oh yeah.
the sad story. Well,
Well, that's
this
what I
one
would
you
want.
that's
It's naturally tragic.
it is actually tragic. It's melodramatic, and
Oh yeah.
that's what people are attuned to. But with this one, it's like it can be several genres.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
can have horror, you can have epic, you can have fighting, you can
Little
have
more
tragedy,
variety.
rebellion. It has all the it has more than one hats and speak to multiple people. I feel like it
Right.
has that. You can bring a large, diverse audience to come and see it. While you're
Yeah.
saying, I would definitely go see it. I would definitely watch
Oh,
it,
thanks.
but I don't think everyone will go in. Depending on like what type of adaptation it is and like how they market it, and be like, "Oh, I had no idea it was meant based off this myth," or it's
Hmm.
like exactly it, and people are like, "Oh, it's this myth." I
Right.
think that myth should be retold or at least brought forth again because it's a great story. I remember when I was reading it, just like it completely changed. It spoke to me. I guess I should say when I
Well, yeah,
first
it
read it.
stuck with me ever since I probably when I was like I forget how old, but I was definitely on the younger side when I
Yeah,
like.
it's one of those early myths that most people when they get into because majority of times most people if when they get into mythology it's always the Greek first. Not always. Sometimes it's Norse or Egyptian, but
Well,
it's
yeah,
mainly
and so I would actually bring that up as a point as why I would like to like why I think would like it as a movie. Not that it has to have mass appeal to be a good movie, but like
yeah
that doesn't help.
yeah.
Uh, or it doesn't. What I meant is it doesn't hurt to like have something that's definitely a lot more popular with like your casual viewer.
Yeah, for the Western audience, they would most people know that myth, even if
Right.
they at least know the reference to it, even if they've
Right.
never read it themselves. My
Yeah.
myth is like no one's ever heard of it. I wouldn't have heard of it unless I studied it back in the day. But
Yeah.
I think it's great. Like I will even say because no one knows what this is, people won't walk in and go, "Oh, I already know the story." They'll be like, "Oh, this looks
Hmm.
cool," and walk
It's a
in
lot
and
newer to them.
realize yeah, I
Hmm.
think it will bring a kind of a new awe, and plus, then that may
Yeah.
bring some people to look further into different myths than just the Greek myth, because
Right.
the Western civilization Greek myths, because of the Greeks, what they've given us, has stuck into us more than the Persians or the Japanese or anything like that. But like even with you said with adaptation, you could make this in a different setting and still keep
Right.
everything
I
in
think they'd
some
both be
shape or
good.
form. Could
I
be
think
like an
they'd both be
Iggy's
good,
film.
and oh, it would.
It would make a
Uh,
great Iggy's dark film.
yeah, I, I can't shake. Similar vibes, obviously different, very
Yeah.
different, but like aesthetically an 80s type film. That's like almost like the OG Dune, where
Oh
it's like
yeah.
you watch it and you're like, this is just weird, but like in a good way. But you're like, whoa,
Yeah. I
that's what
would
I.
love to see yours adaptation in like almost Shakespearean. I feel like if I had to put it in a medium, I would set it in almost that.
Mm, that would be.
Uh,
I feel like that'd be beautiful.
Yeah, and you don't have to change much either. It will still be able to keep the beats, but add that
Right.
elegance to where people are captivated by it. Because I can see like no, I wouldn't put him in it because I feel like unless he plays one of the
My
gods.
cast, if you're wondering,
Yeah, what's
clearly
your
it's
cast?
got to be Tom Holland and Zendaya. I really need people to know that's very much sarcasm. No shade to either of them. They're both good actors, but
I
anyways.
was going to say who plays. Oh no, his name is Patrick Stewart. I was going to say Jean-Luc Picard, but I was like, he's a Shakespearean actor, and so is
Yeah.
the guy who plays Gandalf. But they're a little too old. You probably put them as like one of the Greek gods or something.
Yeah.
But what was it? Like was it Hamlet? No, it wasn't Hamlet. What's the what's the Shakespearean one that they did? They put it in more modern time, but they kept everything. King Leonidas, I think. The one where
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins is the main guy.
Right.
They said it where it's of the time where you recognize, oh, it's like war. You have your generals, and it was you
Yeah.
have cars. It was set in as if it was in that period of when it was made because it's not like new, but it's not old either. You could I could imagine your Greek myth like that
I
where
think I can
it's
imagine both of them pretty reasonably.
yeah, and the best part of that one, it kept the Shakespearean talk, but it was set in a modern time. So I would love to see someone adapt the your Greek myth into that, where it's spoken very Shakespearean, but set in a
Yeah.
modern time. And see what they do about like what happens when he turns around to something like a
Right.
ghost. Like
Mhm.
that's the part that you will really need to think about it if you do it like that. It's like, okay,
Oh
what
yeah.
happens when he turns around? You could almost say it where he's in a room that if he turns around, the something will kill her, or like someone's following her.
Right.
You could do something like that.
Like as far as
Though,
like adaptation, like modern adaptation,
yeah, I
like
thought it's modern my adaptation.
I mean, you could
Though,
do, he's he has to sit and like they say, you know what, like you've made a deal with us, we'll free her or whatever, but like
yeah.
you can't try and free her yourself, you know.
Oh yeah.
You can't do something yourself, but he can't sit by idly and wait, and so he tries to help, and it results in something going wrong, I guess.
You could
I don't
go on a
know. But now
crazy
you've got me
angle.
really thinking about it, and
Yeah,
now
that's
I
what
want to
I'm
see
trying to
that.
figure out is how that works out. I was thinking the most craziest angle that you could do it that would be fascinating if it was like Yakuza.
Ooh, yeah.
That would be interesting. Greek myth
Oh
with
my
Japanese
gosh, and
culture.
it's a martial arts movie.
Yeah.
He doesn't play music. He's just really, really good at martial arts.
And
That's enough martial arts.
well, I believe it is Noel. Yeah, Nolan. Nope.
No,
No.
it's
No.
Elisha.
Yeah, he's
Elijah,
starting
you
it.
get
I started for that one.
first closing
Yeah.
statement.
All right. So this is my closing statement. Zayark has everything modern fantasy audiences love: horror, spectacle, tragedy, and rebellion. It's a story with monsters, revolution, and emotional stakes on a massive scale. And between a tragic love story and a tyrant with man-eating shoulder snakes, I think Hollywood deserves the shoulder snakes. Do it, Hollywood, you cowards! Make this into a movie.
Do it. You won't. You won't.
You won't. No.
Well, okay, now Nolan, you get yours.
Orpheus and Eurydice.
Eurydice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
God,
one.
that makes it sound like I don't care about the story. I do. I think it would just be it has the potential to be both a super gorgeous and super tragic story about romance and a man doing whatever it takes to get his love back. And I think it would perform if it was made the right way. I think it would perform well. We kind of got a little hung up talking about adaptation, which I think would be very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, I think it has just everything that it needs to be a very good movie, or likewise some sort of adaptation.
Okay.
And Nolan, don't worry about pronouncing the names. It's just all Greek to us.
Don't worry. Someone will probably make fun of you in the comments. I'm sure someone's made fun of me in the comments one time.
Actually, it's pronounced.
They can shred me. They can absolutely shred me. Just as long as when they're done ridiculing me, I know how to correctly pronounce it, then we're good.
Hey, shred him kindly, guys. This is the round table. We're kind
Roast me, pound me into the ground. Wait.
But just do it in a kind way.
Yeah.
So
Anyways.
this next one is it's pretty interesting quest. It's a pretty interesting question.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So we all three actually play at a D&D table that is dungeon mastered by Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know who Nathan is, then are you listening to our other stuff? So you should go listen to our other content.
Pretty cool guy.
Yes. So what character from a fictional story would be the best to create in D&D or any tabletop role play? So I believe that yes, it is your turn.
It should be me.
And whenever you're ready.
Hold on, Nolan. Should I read this? Should I read this in my best nerd voice, like the kid from the Polar Express?
Have fun. This is supposed to be fun, man.
Yeah, we're having fun. Okay.
This is good. I'm gonna read this in my nerd voice, my favorite nerd of all nerds. The fictional character I think translates best in the Dungeons and Dragons or tabletop roleplay is Prince Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender. He always has like a perfect playable character. Mechanically, he works beautifully. Martial arts, fire-based abilities, sword fighting, stealth, and emotional conflict to fit naturally in the RGP system. But most importantly, Zuko's entire story is built around character growth. He struggles, fails, changes sides, learns from mentors, and slowly earns reputation. That's the exact kind of emotional progress on a tabletop campaign are designed for.
Okay. Is that so like ChatGPT?
No. Before we even get into that, I just want to pause.
Yeah.
And do you know who you sound like just then?
The kid from the Polar Express?
Yes. Is that what you were trying to do?
Yes. Do you know what type of train this is? I said, do you know what type of train this is?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness. You did that so perfectly. Okay, now moving on. Nolan, your turn.
Okay.
Good luck following up.
I'm not gonna try. I'm not even gonna try. My knee-jerk answer was Han Solo type character. Someone who's really high on charisma, but also if you watch like the movies and stuff, even though he like, he's got that high charisma and he's usually like telling these like bald-faced lies to people, they also don't believe him half the like things go wrong for him all the time and he has to improvise. And that's a lot of what I like to do in D&D. But then I also realized that's also just Indiana Jones. So I came to the conclusion that the fictional character I would like to play most in the D&D campaign would just be Harrison Ford.
Yes.
Yeah. The fictional character of Harrison Ford.
Okay.
Which if in our campaign my character's name is Dirk. If Dirk ever dies, I'm bringing in a Han Solo / Indiana Jones type character.
Which this
I'm
is the
all
only
for
time
it.
I'm going to interrupt, but basically Dirk reminds me a lot of Captain Jack Sparrow, anyways.
Oh, that's who he was based off
That's
of.
who he
Yeah,
is.
I figured. I figured.
Yeah, he's meant to be Jack, but with a little less charisma and at least a little bit more like actual fighting skill.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'll let you go. So
Yeah, I honestly I love the idea of the Harrison Ford character because you basically will be able to get the Han Solo effect of not even trying and still doing the best.
Stumbling into things working out.
Yeah, I just like
Yeah.
this actual story of him becoming Han Solo. It's fantastic. Plus, it'd just be great just to see him shoot someone. Just because
Oh my
it's just
gosh,
like you
yeah.
want this great like
Yeah, like in a
Nathan
tavern with
Gateway,
the
but it's
party
like
somewhere,
boom,
and a guy tries to start a fight, and you just put him down
just
immediately.
put
I
him
think that'd be
down.
hilarious. That's
That
just
would
rolling
be
in at 20.
yeah, no, honestly. I think though for Zuko, it works. As for me, I'm a very role play person when it comes to my D&D. I think having a Prince Zuko arc of uh as a storyline fits pretty well with the tabletop systems. But also, like, he does have like he's not called the Blue Spirit. What's he called? Like the mask
Yeah,
with the
that's the Blue
it's
Spirit.
okay. I thought so. I think I was getting confused with the Water Lady for like 2 seconds,
You
but
casual.
you get no. I'm blanking on names at this
Hey
moment.
guys, make fun of him for
No,
not
don't make
knowing
fun of
about
me.
Zuko.
I knew it. I knew it. I
Fake
had no
fan.
way.
Fake fan right here.
We'll have a talk about this later. Anyway,
I know.
yeah.
Oh
But
my
like
god.
him having the also like just fire abilities and sword fighting along with the stealth, I think that would work really well with like multiple classes and also just to be able to not only rely on just fire based abilities, but he can also use martial arts and sword fighting as well.
Mhm.
So you can use this character in multiple ways. But I think he'd just be like overall handy to have in combat. So he doesn't just work
Oh, yeah.
with roleplay. I think he works really well with combat. So if you ever get in combat and you know how to use him, he could be really, really powerful and be able to help the other players really well. But I just think with the potentials of when he learns from other mentors, have like an Uncle Iroh character with him, I think it would just kind of elevate the story and
Oh
make
yeah.
people interested. Uh, and so that's the type of angle I was thinking over, just like, oh, honestly, because I think it's funny because I think was it Jarek? Was it with me and Johnny? The guy said the best person with redemption character was also Prince Zuko.
yes,
That was me.
That sounds
Okay,
like
that sounds about right. That's like it
yes,
sounds like me.
because Johnny did Megamind and you did Prince Zuko.
That's it. I was like, I forget if that was me or someone else. But yeah, I don't know what it is with me, Prince Zuko, but we're tight. So it's like I can relate to him. And I think just overall, he is a great character, not just to try to emulate, but to use the formatting in other stories. I think is really well. Just him
Mhm.
discovering himself could play really well with other characters too, depending on the setting and the other characters involved. But here's the thing though, Nolan. I think we should have a Zuko character and a Harrison Ford character in the same campaign.
I think that would be great. I think those should be both of our backup characters, honestly.
I will start making my Prince Zuko character if anything
I'll
happens to
start
Agrikus.
working on the stat sheet. No, but okay, so something you said, Zuko, like because there's a lot of character growth that you can do, like as the character. I think that's really great, and especially for you because you do a lot more of that, like the role playing aspect. And I was gonna say, for me, I prefer like my favorite parts is like the physical, like I love combat and I love like rolling checks and all of that. And
Yeah.
so I think that's part of why a solo / Indiana Jones type character like has an appeal to me, because I think it would be very fun from like a play perspective to try
Yeah.
and like, you know, play a character with those types of stats.
Yeah. No, I think every D&D player has their favorite parts of the game.
Right.
I definitely think I would love to play a Harrison Ford character, but I also think for like if you lean more into like the mechanics and like the rolls and checks, I think the Zuko character also really works really well because he
Yeah.
does stealth and he does have sword fighting and fire based abilities in combat. But it'd be like if you. But the thing is, though, if you make a Zuko character, Nolan, you have to give him low charisma.
Oh, Zuko here.
Hi, Zuko here.
Zuko here.
He has to have low charisma. I think that's if anyone makes a Prince Zuko
Oh, I
character,
think
you
that's
gotta
a
give him low.
must. And
It
I
is a
think that's
must.
like, I think the characters are honestly kind of not fully opposite, but honestly they're pretty opposite. It's like one has a lot of charisma, but like if you really think about like Han Solo / either of them really, like they're
Yeah,
not more. They throw punches and that's about it. And I kind of like that about them. I like that they're a little more. I want to say fully one-dimensional, but they're a little more one-dimensional just in how they operate, and
yeah,
that's what I like about them.
yeah. That's
Meanwhile,
straightforward.
Zuko has a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah, and it depends just like how you play him. But I honestly would love to go around as a Harrison Ford character and just like constantly
Oh yeah, it'd
just
be
like
great.
just say just blunt things before punching someone.
Right.
Because though I myself struggle with D&D like the mechanics and stuff sometimes, but like
Yeah.
as a role player, I would definitely like to role play him. Because even if I'm like I want to do this, it's like you can't do that. Dang it! But it makes sense for the story. Um,
Right.
so I think either way, with our characters, you could play them mechanically wise or roleplay wise. Though I think certainly roleplay wise, Zuko beats a Harrison Ford character just a little bit, but I think vice versa of mechanically wise. I think if you want a rough and tough like brawler,
Hmm.
uh, that you can just make a simple check of hi, I'm a lovable jerk, and I rolled a perfect 20, and so my charisma
Exactly.
still works anyways, even if whatever I said was awful,
Yeah.
it works because that's just his character. It's like I say the most blunt, most, uh, because even though I've know Han Solo is charismatic, I think younger Han Solo in my mind is more charismatic than the one in the
Oh
movie,
yeah.
but it's been a
No,
minute
I
since
think
I've seen the movie.
he's charismatic in all of them, but like when we see him in the original trilogy, he's been conning for so long that people have just stopped falling for it. Whereas in
Yeah,
Solo, he's still like the new guy on the block, and so that's why he's able to get away with so much more, like
yeah,
as far as like bluffs.
yeah. He just kind of learned when he got older not to care. He's like,
Right.
shoot first, ask
I
questions
that's
later.
part of why I love Han Solo, is because it's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And then even eventually, once his bluffs they're broke, he keeps doing it anyways because you never know, it might still work.
You never know. I think a campaign needs both these type of characters, though.
Yeah,
I think with
well, that's the
because
beauty
you,
of D&D is you need like in a campaign, the best campaigns are the ones where you have a variety of characters who they're not all the same, and
yeah,
they're both their stats but also their personalities complement each other.
yes, I think that's what. Yes, I a
I feel like
hundred
we just
percent
came to
agree
the
that.
conclusion that our next campaign we'll both be playing these types of characters.
Oh, absolutely. Just a
Yeah.
broogie prince and just a straight shot smuggler.
Oh my god, yes. It's gonna be so fun. And neither of us can tell Nathan about it because we
Well,
need
he's gonna
to surprise him with this idea. He'll
just
think it's great.
he'll think it's great until he hears this podcast. I'll
Yeah.
be great. If he
I'm
doesn't, then we know. Then we know he doesn't listen to the podcast.
I'm gonna butt in. I don't think he listens to these episodes.
Okay.
And
Okay, we'll
Nathan,
save
if you do listen to this,
and we're
call
calling him
me out
out.
right now, and I will apologize.
Fast
Live
forward a
on
couple
whatever we
weeks from
do.
now. Fast forward a couple weeks from now, you're gonna get a phone call and be like, "Why is Ethan calling me?" And he's just gonna say, "Please listen to these." You jerk.
Which is fine. He doesn't have to listen to these, but I know he doesn't test listen to them all. Actually, our test listener is in fighting you, Nolan.
Yeah.
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 I get to hear this whole conversation all over again and go, man, I should have said something different.
Yeah, I haven't really done. I don't do
Really goes
much.
down.
I listen to everyone else's. I haven't. I've been on one episode before. I haven't listened to that. I don't think I would. I don't want to hear my own voice, to be honest. I believe I go first.
Yes, you
I
do.
think I go first. Okay. I think a Han Solo or Indiana Jones type character, aka Harrison Ford. I think that would be the best, or maybe not the best, but one of the best characters you can play, because not only do you get to play a character with a whole lot of charisma, but you also get to play a character who, especially like I'm thinking in terms of D&D, like maybe you don't have much magic spells or stuff, but you learn to talk with your mouth a whole lot and get real good at that, and also you get to learn how to fight, but with maybe some less magical, more basic items. And I think that adds a really fun twist as a player, and I think it can work well with a group.
Yeah.
Okay, Elijah.
I think, as I kind of like said before, I know some people will disagree with me because some people like character maxers. They just want to gain all the stuff that make them powerful to just steamroll through any combat. I personally think the more interesting characters is the ones that can stay steady throughout a role play and continue to grow during it, like adding onto the story. And Zuko gives the player both combat skills to be able to do with the mechanics, but also emotional depth and internal conflicts. And one, as I said before, one of the best redemption arcs in all of fiction. It already feels like someone's D&D character, and somehow with that they would be like the emotional core of the party. So I think personally he plays both. He's in the middle. He's not one way or another. I think he fits right in that middle, that sweet spot for people, and that would be my closing statement.
Okay. So the last one, the final question. It's a pretty interesting question. What two bending elements from Avatar: The Last Airbender world would be the best two to combine? And so this inspiration came from I think it was like a joke, like Elijah was like, "Oh, I'll like water in my tea," or something like that. You know, that's what I want to do or whatever. And so we basically made it, well, like you can technically combine two bendings because there is lava bending. And so I
Oh
want to
yeah, that's the
see,
deep ending.
yeah. And so I want to see how creative these guys can get by combining two of these elements and how they would use it. So I believe, Nolan, you start first.
Yeah. I believe I said water and earth. I
You
did.
did.
Uh, and I think the number one reason for both of those is they're just. I was gonna say they're the two most common elements, but I guess there's also air. But I mean, like they're the most common. I'm trying to think of practicality, not just cool. Air is really cool, but as far as like practicality, I aside from a couple small things, I don't think I'd really use it that much. And I don't think air pairs as well with any of the others as like, you know, like I think water, earth, and fire, you could pick any two of those and they go pretty well together. But as far as air, you're a little more limited in like how that pairs with others. But anyways, I think water and earth pair really well. They're both very common. You know, earth is everywhere. Water is pretty much literally everywhere as well. Um, and on top of that, I think they could blend pretty well. Mud.
Okay, that's your closing statement. I'm
Okay,
closing
bad.
opening. That's your opening
Okay.
statement. Okay, Elijah.
I will have to agree with the earth, but I have to disagree with the water, and I would think air is probably the best combination of these
Mm.
blending of these elements because they create an ultimate battlefield of control. Because Earth can give you defense, durability, raw power, while air gives you speed, mobility, evasion, and pressure manipulation. So when you combine them together, you can create sandstorms, airborne debris shields, high-speed movements, and devastating pressure-based attacks. Instead of just overpowering opponents directly, this combined control version makes movement, precisions, and space itself, and it becomes incredibly difficult to hit while constantly shaping the battlefield around you. And that is my opening statement.
Is this with combat specifically in mind?
Anything you want to talk about? So
Okay.
the thing is, they both have to be combined together. You can't just be like, I use
Right.
airbending for this and that. They have to be combined
Yeah.
for whatever you're using it for.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay. Well, first off, you're talking about like air, mobility, earth.
Yeah.
You're kind of sitting there. If for the people who don't know us, you can tell like as far as like physical build, which one of us is the skinnier guy and which one is the chunkier guy. Just from our choices.
Put your guess in the comments below. Guess which one of us.
Which one of us weighs more?
Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Just let them guess.
But what I was gonna say is, I think as far as like fighting, yes, I would actually agree with yours. But I think for a lot of other things, just general practicality and whatnot, I think water and earth is just a little more practical. There's a whole lot of building you can do with that, making mixing things, and but my brain's a little scattered. There's just a whole lot I think you could do more practically. Also, being able to control water is just, I mean, maybe the most, I want to say, important element you can control. Probably minus breathing, but who needs that, right? Shout out all the asthmatics in anyways. I think they pair really well. I would say better than with air.
Yeah, I could see that. But Jarek, I do have a question. This has to be combined, right? It's not like you use one or the other.
It has to be combined.
That's kind of what I mean. I think
well,
think
if you want to bend mud,
combine.
because it sounds like the only thing you can really bend at this point is just mud. Because if it's meant to be combined,
what's earth and air then? Or
earth and air, you can pick up rocks and have them float around you like a shield, or you can create sandstorms. You could platform, like if you could stand on top of a rock and shoot yourself up in places as
right.
like
you know, I guess within that you could also just, I would point out with mine, like water and earth, you can have varying degrees of like combination. You could have something that's mostly water and slightly earth, so it's just really muddy water. Or you can have something that's mostly earth with a little bit of water, and that's just dirt, damp dirt. Or if there's like rocks that have water in them, like, you know, I feel like there's a little more variety with earth and water than surface, like face value.
It just sounds like mud.
And yours just sounds like pocket sand.
Pocket sand. Pocket sand is the best thing on the planet. But
pocket
it's like
sand is the most overrated thing. That's not actually helpful.
No, it is helpful. Totally. No,
unless
but
you're
it's
using
more
it on someone who's stupid.
Well, it's more than just sandstorms, right? You have like airborne shields. You can protect yourself all around you. If you have to go into a place where you need to
Hmm.
protect someone, you can make giant shields over people. And also like pressure
Hmm.
blasts, erosion attacks, and like near constant movement. It'd be impossible for you to pin them down or possible to overpower. Uh, and so it's like I do agree. I think water and earth can make strong fortresses, but earth and air make strong forces of nature. So if it's in a combat situation, I think the one combination that will help you survive is earth and air, because the other one you can control the battlefield almost the entire time. If your opponent can't see you nor breathe or reach you, the fight is pretty much over. You've
I mean,
won. Now with
yes, I do
I
still
don't know
think
what you
you're
can do with
thinking
mud.
very much in the way of like combat specific,
Yeah, I think it's like if I was
which
using
is fair.
it
I
for
mean,
out.
Avatar, like there's a lot of fighting in Avatar, and so I think that's fair. But I think I was trying to expand a little bit on that.
Well, if it's like sandbending, right? That's like the new Avatar is supposed to be a sandbender. I think so.
Uh,
That
is
I
he,
think so. Yeah,
he or she
I
or
think the
whoever
new.
it is?
I believe they say that it's going to be a sandbender because it's the next element is Earth, and so they're going to seg it where
Ah,
they are a sandbender. That's another thing too. It's like all I
okay.
could like slide across the sands, almost like a
Yeah,
surfboard. That would be cool. I mean,
that would
I
be
don't know
very
how
cool.
practical that would be, but like outside of combat, that sounds extremely fun.
I do agree. That does sound quite cool.
It also give me a boost with running. I could give
Yeah,
myself
but I
extra
mean, if we're
hit.
talking about like mud is pretty slick, so you could use that as a boost. You don't even have to run; you can slide around.
Is it well, yeah, but would it be too slippery or too sticky? I feel like it
Well,
could
I
be
mean, if you're
both.
controlling the mud, I suppose you could also kind of
True.
control that.
I feel like if
Uh,
you had
I was thinking about
mud,
this
yeah, go ahead.
combination. If you, so are we just gonna is fire and water? Is that just steam bending then?
No, surprisingly, fun fact, my brother and I thought about this for a second because he can't believe me. When I was looking up like the abilities of firebender, steam bending is a firebending thing. It's not a water bending thing. Which I
So
find
if you have fire and water, you can control essentially heating and cooling. Are you able to just control the form of water that you are like you can condense it, you can evaporate it, you can there's at
true.
least a few more. Is that
No, I should
does that
have.
logic follow?
No, I honestly, I would call fire and water bending tea bending. I should have picked that one. I said tea bending last time. I would love to bend my tea.
Tea
I
bending
could
would
like
be incredible.
tea
Well, I
bending
mean, just
would be the
any sort of
greatest.
because that would also be coffee and
Oh
any sort
yeah,
of
you could
drink
like
that is
mix different like stuff together much more easier. I think
yeah
it'd be like, oh, I have this type of coffee and this type of coffee, and doesn't have this. What happens if I just combine the coffees? You
yeah
could have a really dope restaurant.
you really could.
You could that could be your thing. You just like deliver the
Oh, have
bend
I
all
told you
the.
about my business idea?
What's your business idea?
The music store and coffee shop called Beats and Beans, and we sell
Oh,
specifically not like instruments, but like hard copy music, vinyls and CDs and stuff. And
yeah.
then every single month there is a drink of the month that is named after an album of the month, and if you buy both, you get a special
Oh,
deal.
oh.
Okay, so
Wait.
let's get back on the topic.
Pretty off topic.
That's an amazing idea.
Thank
Also,
you. Thank
probably
you.
don't share your ideas because someone can steal it.
Pretty sure there's already something like that out there. The only thing that's at risk of being stolen is the name.
Also,
Yeah.
just because I wanted to look into this,
Yeah.
I didn't see the new Avatar being a sandbender, but
I heard
she
they
has
were
a
going to do that.
yeah. It's pretty interesting reading it. She has a twin, and basically it's set.
It's like on
Oh,
different
imagine being the
planets.
twin of the Avatar and
Yeah,
realizing you just missed out.
yeah, it's post
That'd suck.
apocalyptic. So basically, I guess something happened
Oh,
where like the world basically ended, and like I guess
I
one of
was
oh,
those
kind of
happened.
fascinating.
told it was. I was kind of heard that it was on a different planet. That's what I was
What?
told.
Why
Yeah,
am I
I have
just
no
hearing
idea
all of
either.
this?
Well, maybe
Huh?
you're mishearing this, but like I mean it's
No.
Google that's telling me this. It could be wrong, but it
Yeah.
sounds kind of
Well,
Blame
interesting.
Google.
So
like look it up. They'll find some stuff because I've heard hearsay here and here and there when it was first coming out, and I think originally they said they were going to make a Sandbender, and then they changed it. But
this person might be a sandbender, but I think it's pretty interesting. And I'll leave this
it's
here.
interesting.
That they see the Avatar as like not a savior, but more of a destroyer of humanity. So
Oh,
like that's kind
interesting.
of that's interesting. But
Oh,
That's
that's a different
fascinating.
topic for a different day. So let's continue on unless if you want to do
yeah.
closing statements.
Well, I don't know what else we can like. I'm trying to think what else practicality Earth and air because it we can't separate the two, right? It's not like we have both. It's like they have to be combined. That's what's stumping me of what else I can do
Right. I
besides.
think when I first chose, I was assuming more just you can control two.
Yeah,
And so I
that's
was
what I
like,
was
those two.
originally thinking as well. Like I thought like yeah, I could use both in combat. I could like use a rock shield. I can go like like the Avatar thing, but instead of like
Right.
the fire and the water,
Right.
it'd just be the rocks in the air. Um, I could fly on a rock, I guess, but I don't know how much wind do I have to produce to pick up a rock.
Yeah.
Um, but I think for like combat, I feel like mine would be a lot more useful. I think for like outside stuff, I think your thing would be like if you like if I had
I
your
think they both
ability.
have a lot of like perks.
Yeah,
I think yours works better as in like you have to kind of control the combination of the two actually.
yeah.
But I think as far as individual thing, like you can control two separate ones. I do think mine actually is a little on that like
I think yeah. I think also it speaks. It's not saying like we'll have it, but I think it's like when someone's like, "Oh, I want to be this element." It shows a lot about that person because all the elements,
right.
it's like they have something particular about it that,
I've always
like,
liked
Earth
her.
is grounding, yeah, and air is like free spirited, and I feel like if I had the separate of Earth and air, I would definitely love to use air all the time because I would be able to do all sorts of funky stuff with it just to run around. And I feel like Earth is a good practical one. I can make like an Earth wall, or I can just
Right.
go up, elevate myself to go somewhere, or like
Mm-hmm.
climb up a mountain way easier. Just so, but I was like, I was gonna say with yours, Nolan, if I had your ability of watering Earth and hack to combine it, I would just become a missionary in the Amazon and just build mud huts for people.
Hey, we've both been missionaries in the Amazon.
Oh, we have.
Yeah, for a week.
Can you imagine
And
having
we
your
puked
ability
everywhere.
for a week? Yeah, I did puke everywhere. I got sick.
Yeah,
I
it was
got
gross.
mad sick.
It was real
Gosh.
gross. You voided like your entire body weight overnight. I don't know
And
how you survived.
God,
Okay,
100%.
we'll end it right there.
No, let's keep talking about this.
No, I could go in great detail of how
Okay.
it happened.
Well, I don't care. I don't care about that, but I'm sure some people don't want to listen to that. So, it is now uh Elisha, you get
Yeah.
the last.
Well, yeah, I think overall, first of all, T bending would be the best type of bending. But for
I
my
think we're in
thing,
agreement on that.
we all agree we can shake hands on that one, dap up, whatever it is.
Mhm.
I think though Earth and air work together pretty well. I think they balance each other perfectly. Maybe not super perfect, but they pretty much balance each other. You have Earth that keeps you grounded and powerful, and then you have air that keeps you mobile and untouchable. And together, you're not just fighting your opponent; you're controlling your environment around them the entire time. Which, for combat, that would be very useful. Outside of that, I'll have to do some more deep thinking of how I could even use that outside of combat. But if we were in a combat situation, I would have earth and air. I think it would be useful. Or just be the avatar. I'll probably be the most useful.
Okay, now Nolan.
Yeah, I think water and earth, at least, when I first had heard the question, like if you had to control two individual ones, I think they complement each other very, very well, and are also just extremely useful. And as far as combined, maybe not the best, but I think both in combat, but also practicality. Water and earth. I don't know. There's a lot of water around. There's a lot of earth around, and you can do both a whole lot. There's a whole lot of places you can use both of those. So
Okay. Well, guys, if yeah, basically it's up to you guys. There's not really a winner, but if you felt like someone had a better argument in their conversations, leave a comment, or maybe you did not like these picks at all. Well, you can leave that in a comment as well of what you think was better. What?
These guys are both dumb.
It's just the Redditors coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the combination of those two elements couldn't possibly work.
Yeah. Well, is there anything that I don't think you're really on anything, Elijah, and I don't think you do anything, Nolan, right? Like the shout out on the show.
No.
Apparently, you got the coffee and
I post a bunch of stupid stuff on Instagram.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, look out for Nolan's coffee shop somewhere, probably in Texas.
Hey, fingers crossed.
And yeah, if you are interested in more, check out more of the Kingdom Geeks podcast or more roundtable episodes if you've not listened. They're on whatever you're listening to this on, which is either YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Rumble. So yeah. Also, if you want a little sneak peek of what I'm up to for the Kingdom Geeks podcast, you can catch my Twitch or my YouTube, where I play through some of the games that will more than likely be on the Kingdom Geeks podcast. And you can look that up at Shaggy Batman 51. But anyways, I hope that y'all have a good night and see you.
Eurydice Day.
He's German too.
What?